outside
Right.
group, really inside one. How much is kept from the ordinary people from those meetings? Do the ordinary people know what's going on? Is there a feeling that we're above it all and we're deciding here, and these people are sort of the sheep and they will go along? Is that the mood, or?
Well, it's not like you're keeping anything from people. You think that while you're sitting in there that you are doing the best for them. And it's not in a condescending manner, but if you think about it, you know, that's what every bureaucrat thinks probably as a motivating force that keeps him going, that, well, we're making this law because it's the best for this greatest number of people.
So we know what's best for you.
Right, yeah, that's the point. And Gene Spriggs has a real knack for making you feel as if you're contributing to a decision, or like if he were to bring a new teaching, like for instance, he brought a teaching one time that we shouldn't drink milk anymore, and which goes against, you know, every nutritional and even biblical references to the contrary. But he, as he always did, justified his teachings based on some sort of scripture here or there, or a historical reference, or a certain interpretation of a scripture that was this and that and the other. And he has a knack of, like, if you're sitting in the room with three other people, and you're all giving input, and at the end you come out just the same as the beginning, without your input affecting anything. But you felt like it did, you know.
You talked it all out and came to his...
It came to his conclusion.
It always came to his conclusion.
And he's a master at that, whether it's in a small meeting like that or a large meeting, and always
He
getting
got his
input.
way.
Right.
Always.
And that's his motivating force. And I'll just say as an aside here that I don't think Gene Spriggs sat down and back in 1970 and said, well, I'm going to cook up a plan where I can, you know, deceive a lot of people and be in charge of all this stuff, you know. And I just think as he went along that his desire to know the truth and to save young people, which was always his stated goal, became buried under his desire for power, and to the point where he can no longer tell the difference between his desire for control and his so-called stated goal of preaching the gospel and bringing salvation to the world.
Is there any reason why we should worry about this group? I mean, the public is very aware, certainly the word cult has taken on all kinds of connotations, but apocalyptic groups that decide they're going to take off in spaceships and so on. Is there any reason to be concerned about that with this particular group? Any teachings that might say there's danger for the people involved?
I think there's a lot of danger. The danger stemming from the fact that of one person being in control and no one to keep him in check. And this is a teaching that he has propagated over the years, that there always needs to be checks and balances, and there never should be one person in charge of a spiritual or religious movement or community or whatever. But his own lifestyle goes against his own teachings, and so does much of the community's lifestyle. But the danger lies in when you have one person in charge, is that, you know, I could come in today if I was in charge of this group and say, okay, well, I think we all should drink Kool-Aid with poison in it because it'll give us an enlightening experience. And I could go on and justify it and talk about it, but I think that danger is always there.
Because people would do it.
Their dedication to him is the prerequisite for remaining in his group, and obedience to him is preached above everything else.
When I was in there, I never believed that the community would drink Kool-Aid. See, that's the kind of things that you get asked all the time. One of the things that I did in the early days of Island Pond is I entertained parents. I'd take them fishing, I'd take them around in a van, and Guyana, 79, I guess, would always come up. All these other groups that did, you know, these apocalyptic things, they would always come up, and I was probably one of Spriggs's most, I totally supported him in every way. to the people, even though inside I would doubt things sometimes. But I never believed they would drink Kool-Aid. It's only after being able, not that we're saying they're going to drink Kool-Aid.
Right. It's a metaphor.